In this video, we're going to look at how to create the files you need to set up in week 1 and how to upload them to your server multiple ways. You'll notice the first thing that I did was create a folder where I'm going to keep all of my coursework for the entirety of the course. Having a good file structure is very important in web design. So first thing we're going to do is open up the text editor that you're using. I'm using brackets. And I will go ahead and create a new file. And right off the bat, I'm just going to save this as index.html because when you go to a web address, it looks for the file named index and it opens that as the home page. So we'll name that index.html. I'm going to go to my desktop, find that folder I created. I'm going to save it right inside that folder. And there it is. Let's get rid of that. And you can see it's inside the folder. Next thing we need to do is just come to the week 1, day 2 activity instructions and look for the message that we're going to use. So this is my final project homepage. This will be replaced. So we're going to take that text and we're going to copy it and we're going to paste it here. And then we're just going to go ahead and save. That's all you need to do on that. Okay, next part is I'm going to come into this folder and you can see that new file is there. And I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to name this practice. This is where all the practice files that you're going to be using for the semester will be located. And this one is going to be for your final project homepage. So I'm going to make a new index file inside of the practice folder. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to start another new file. I'm going to save this as the same thing. And I'm going to go inside that practice folder and save it there. And I'm going to take the second message that says this is my practice website homepage. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and save it. So once I've done that, I can go ahead and close brackets. I don't actually need to use that anymore for the time being. If we go look at those two files, you can see if I double click on it, it will open up in the browser and show me that message. And same thing goes for if we look at the other file. It will also show as a web page file. They're not yet on the internet though, so we need to do that as the next step. There's several different ways to do this. When you signed up for hosting, you got an email that gave you a bunch of information which include your username and password, and you're going to need those to do this. So lots of different ways. I'll show you a few of them. Number one is let's go ahead and go to, we'll start with FileZilla. And you can use any of these methods you would like, whatever works best for you. Let's come up here and click the icon to open the site manager. And we're going to put in a new site. And here you're going to put in your address. Let's put in port 21. And then your username from the email you received. And go ahead and try to connect. It's going to ask for your password. And if it doesn't work, if you get some sort of error like this, there's a few things you can try. So I'm going to go back in to the same place and I'm going to change it from the default encryption here to use only plain FTP. And if I hit connect now, you can see it actually connected. If you still can't connect, you can also try going to transfer setting and hitting passive. But we're connected. So over here on the left side, this is all the files from my local computer. On the right side, this is the files on my server. If we go through these, you can see I've got a lot of files which you're not going to have. You may see one that says public HTML like this. That's where you're going to want to put your files is directly into that folder. So I double click on that, you can see that it opens up and I've got a whole bunch more files which, like I said, you're not going to have. So you should be able to just basically find your files on this folder. So if I go to my desktop and I go into that same folder, which is this folder that I've created, you can see there's my index and then inside the practice there's my other file. So I've got both of those files. So you would just basically need to take those two and drag and drop them over here. And just to show you how this works, here's an empty folder I created for myself, which you don't need to do. And I'm going to take the practice folder, I'm just going to drag it and drop it. And and then I'll take the index file and drag and drop that as well, and those are both now there. So if we come to your web address, and you shouldn't have to put anything in but your web address. Mine is in a folder, that's why I'm doing this. But you can see there is my homepage file. And if I put in /practice, there is the other file for my practice homepage. All you need to do to complete your project assignment is to go to the first one and take a screenshot of it. You could use something like the snipping tool, hit new, and just grab a screenshot of that and go ahead and save that somewhere, and then do the same thing for your practice file as well, and just take a snip of that, and that will work. And that's all you've got to do, and turn those in along with the actual address. So you'll copy both addresses and paste those in to the comments on the submission. Now I'm going to show you a couple other ways you can use FTP with the other programs, in case those are the ones that you're actually using. So another one you could use is called CyberDuck. Now once that opens, here's how CyberDuck works. You can, and I've already got a connection here, but you're going to go ahead and just open a connection, and you put in your username once again, or your server, your domain name, then you put your username and your password in, and you're in port 21, same. Go ahead and connect, and then you'll get this, right? And it should show you, it may show you public.html, and you can go into that folder once again. And then all you have to do is take your files, and you can actually take them directly from your computer, and you can just take the two of them and just drag them. So if I delete these off, it's showing what's currently there. So they're now no longer on the internet. If I take those two and I drag and drop them in, it will upload them the same way. And once they're there, they're back up live onto the internet. It's asking me my password, and you can see they're back on the internet again. Another way I want to show you can do this, which I actually just learned from a student recently, is that if you go to your computer and you go to this PC, you can, let's get rid of that, you can right click down here in the blank area, and you can add a network location. So you don't actually have to download any FTP program at all. And you can go to next. You're going to choose a location, and you need to put in FTP for file transfer protocol and the // and then go ahead and put in your domain name. And then you can just hit next and hit next. It's going to ask you for a name because that's going to be saved down here. So I hit next, go ahead and finish it, and here it is. That's going to take a second to load up, and then once it does, it's going to ask me for my username again and my password. And once I'm in, there are those exact same files. There's public.html, and you can just drag your stuff in once again. Mine is in this folder, and there they are. I could take those same files and I could just drag and drop them, and it would do the same thing and send those files to your server. Now the very last way, if you can't get any of these ways to work, any of these FTP programs, you can actually go to your host itself and log in, whatever that is, Bluehost, web hosting for students, whatever it is, and go ahead and log into that. And the look of this will be a little bit different depending on the host that you use. But once you're logged in, you need to look for something that says File Manager or something like it. You're looking for your files. And once you're there, it will show you all of the files, right? Once again, you see that public.html folder. If I go inside there, there's all those exact same files. And here's the folder I put mine into. And once again, you're just going to put yours directly into that public.html file. but there's my two files. I could, if I couldn't get those other methods to work, log in and just go to upload and upload those same files. And so those are a few different methods. Hopefully one of those works for you. Good luck.